Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here, Safi Financial Network, May 16, 2025. All right, let's start with S&P 500 weekly chart. So we just got a nice pop for this week. This is a weekly chart and weekly candle. You see that we just got into 59.30 weekly close, which is pretty bullish. We recaptured all major SMAs here, and this is pretty bullish. Even market just show one kind of like a pause here to this supply area and then getting back to the upside. This is exactly the way that we are expecting. However, we may see a pullback. So the pullback could be a potential scenario. And I'm expecting still second half of May, early June. We may see some kind of like a pullback, which is going to be healthy to get to this 55.80 to 57.42. So this is the area that we break above this. And we need to just come back for a test. If that happens, that would be a great setup for bulls, because we're going to see another potential rally, potentially to the August new all-time high. So we will see how it goes with that one. But S&P 500 weekly chart tells me that we are in a bullish momentum. We're still in a bullish momentum, and we can grind higher. However, stochastic momentum, we see that fast line is in the slow line, they're getting into overbought condition, which could be a kind of like a sell-off as well for a correction. And this is kind of like the RSI trend line. Whenever we hit this area, you're getting back to the downside. And this is another scenario. If we're breaking through above this, I would say new all-time high is coming without correction or small correction, because that is very, very important. If RSI breaking through above this, that would be very, very interesting signal for the market. So we will see how it goes. Moving on to the daily chart. Daily chart is the same here. We just got into this supply area. You see that it's kind of like a grinding higher, muscling up to the upside, and the 59.30. We just got a rejection today. It was a little bit higher, but we just got a rejection. That's fine. If we get again corrective move, I would say the correction can go all the way down to 57, 5600, even 5570. That would be the scenario that I'm looking at. Nasdaq is the same scenario here. So you see that Nasdaq even stronger, going higher this week, and recapturing nicely, pretty close to your all-time high. So if we just push another potential week like this week, we may see uptake to the upside. There is kind of like a confusion, or I would say there is kind of like a mixture of everything in the market, especially tech industry. So semiconductors are forming very bullish, but the other sectors, I would say like big techies, are not that super bullish. Some of them are bullish, some of them are not bullish. So you see that Tesla, Microsoft are bullish, but Google actually just a hiccup. Amazon is reversing back down. Meta is kind of like a consolidating. So we will get to those ones as well. But I just want to say, all in all, if we get a pullback to this area, 19,600 to 20,500, that would be a very healthy correction. Also, you see that Nasdaq is leading. We just got a MACD buy signal nicely this week. However, stochastic just got into dual back bear reversal, or to the overbought condition. So if we get kind of like a dual back bear reversal, it doesn't mean that we're going to go all the way down here, but I would say that's going to be kind of like the pause or corrective move for the market. Nothing more than that. Daily chart is the same scenario here. We are very overstretched, overbought. RSI tells me that we are getting into overbought condition. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a sell signal. It means that we are in a bullish trend. So we should just give market benefit of doubt for a bullish momentum. However, a correction could give us a nice signal as well. So 19,000, 20,000, that's the area that I'm looking at for a nice corrective move. If we get there, that would be a fantastic buying opportunity. All right, moving on to Dow. Dow is lagging, but last 2 days, actually, Dow just tried to catch up a little bit and getting back to the upside. Here is the weekly chart. You see that Dow recaptured SMA 20, and also it's just getting above this supply area, just the shadows up there. 42,000, around 42,000, 43,000 area. So that's kind of like the area that I'm looking at. But Dow can go down to this area for a corrective move. I'm not expecting too much, just because financials, healthcare, They just find the bottom, and also financials. You will see that in the individual names. They're just getting better and better, consolidating all of them, and they're pretty bullish. Banks are doing good, so I'm not expecting Dow, especially industrials as well. So they're just kind of like a bottom, and I would say Dow can be outperformer even second half of this year compared to the other ones. Moving on to the daily chart. Daily chart is the same scenario. We just got a nice kind of like a divergence in price. Stochastic RSI doesn't confirm that. MACD is in a bullish momentum. Very, very nice bullish momentum. But I would say the upside target could be limited. And we may see some kind of like a pullback to this area to 41,000, 40,000. That could be the area that we can see. All right, moving on to gold, which was kind of like a lackluster last few days. So it's forming a bearish consolidation. I would say even if we get a bounce to 3,300, then we can see a lower low is coming potentially down the road here to 28, even 27 to sub at 3,000. That would be very, very dramatic scenario. It could be a potential. But I would say gold miners actually didn't follow gold price, so that's another thing. But I would say any kind of like a rally for now, even to 3,300, that would be kind of like the sell for gold. As I just mentioned in a weekly chart as well, this is a daily chart, but let's just quickly look at the weekly chart as well. Before I mention this, this is kind of like the top, and we just got a dual back bear reversal to the downside. RSI is getting out of the overbought condition, which momentum is falling. You see that MACD momentum is falling. Price action confirmed that. So even if we see some kind of like a consolidation to the downside for next few weeks, I would say even like in June timeframe, we should see a gold bottom. So that would be the ideal scenario for gold. Silver at the same time, it's just forming very strong here. So if we just go back, I don't know why my chart. Oh yeah. So silver is just forming a consolidation, and it seems like buyers are taking control. This at $31 dollar per ounce. If we breaking through to the downside, I would say silver can go to $30. I'm not sure even if we get to this area. So that would be the ideal scenario, but I would say $30 potentially is going to be middle of this wide range bar, even this 31-ish area. So that would be the area that I'm looking at least for short term for silver. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to crude. Crude nicely just formed the bottom here. I would say crude is just formed a double bottom or W pattern, which is my favorite pattern. So we need to see crude is getting above this pivotal point. So it's kind of like forming a bull flag here. If we stay here, consolidating here, this means we are going to tackle another time to 65, 66, and then the next tackle or target is going to be 72 to 74, which coming along to crude or energy stocks as well. Moving on to individual name, let me just go to Bitcoin here, just because this is my first, this is Chevron chart. Let me just bring the Bitcoin here. All right, so here's the Bitcoin, nice bullish consolidation. You see that my favorite scenario is going to be a pullback, stretch down to here to 90,000, then getting back to the upside. But it doesn't guarantee that, because whenever we see this consolidation, especially in uptrend, Bitcoin is forming potential another leg up from here. But if we get any pullback to this area, I would say still it's going to be a fantastic buying opportunity. If you're a shareholder, or if you're just a ETF holder, or even a Bitcoin holder, I don't I don't sell, to be honest. I just keep it. Even if it goes down, I'm gonna add more. So right now, Ethereum is on the other side. You see that it's a consolidation is not that neat like a Bitcoin price action. So if we go below 2,400, then we're going to go all the way down to 2,000 area, and we'll see how it goes for Ethereum. Bond yield is just forming up today. It's just consolidating. I would say bond yield can tackle another time about 4% potentially next week. And going to this breakout zone here, which is going to be 420. But That would be it. And I would say any rally in bond yield could be a sell. I'm not expecting bond yield is taking out these lows here, so potentially it's going to go lower. Treasury on the other side, it's forming, I would say, a nice bullish pattern, which is a W pattern. So if it gets above this $90, I would say Treasury is forming a nice setup for 93 to 94, which is going to be April high, or that's going to be a December high as well. So we may get to that one as well. So we need to get above this about this pivot, which is going to be 90. But if you get about 90, I would say very easily it can go to 93, 94. If it consolidates here, that means the longer target is coming, which is going to be this area. And I believe if Treasury goes above this area, this means we are going to see a more kind of like a volatile market for a stock market. Moving on to VIX. VIX is down and weekly close is down below 18. We are getting close to this at 16, 15 area. So we'll see how it goes for VIX. Moving on to Dixie. Dixie is forming a bearish consolidation. Today we just got a Harami, a bullish Harami. We may tackle to 103, 104, but that's going to be kind of like the sell, I would say. Apple, nicely bullish consolidation here. And then we may see another tackle to 220, 227. But I would say still looking for this area for buying opportunity. Amazon, as I said, it's kind of like a reverse into the downside. Seems like the top is there, so we may see some kind of like a correction for Amazon is coming. Meta is the same. We just got a nice hammer today, but if we get to another high, another lower high, we may see another 600 for Meta is coming down the road. Microsoft, as I said, it's pretty bullish, and we are challenging this December 24. This is rocking to the upside, and I keep my shares. I don't want to sell because I would say Microsoft still can go higher, even to new all-time high. Moving on to Google, it's lagging right now, 168, 170. So we just got to this pivot. We may see a pullback to 150, 160 for another rally, potentially to 184. Netflix new all-time high today. This one doesn't want to stop. Tesla nicely getting back to the upside. I would say Tesla 360 and then 380 is coming down the road. Just to be patient for that one. Remember, we were talking about this bottom formation. Everyone is saying, okay, Tesla is consolidating for lower low. And I said, no, it's just forming nicely for another rally. And potentially, I would say Tesla new all-time high even can happen above 500. So we'll see. That's going to be a bold call, I know. Semiconductors, they're just consolidating. And as I said, they're forming very nicely for another sell-up to the upside. Even if it goes to the corrective move, it's going to just complete or fill this gap and then get it back to the upside. Nothing wrong with the chart. Stocks the same pattern here. Can go down to fill this gap for a next rally or consolidating here for the next rally. I'm not betting against them. Nvidia, the same here. We just got a nice consolidation. This is a nice breakout. We may go down to 120 to this area to test this breakout zone. But after that, we are getting ready for another potential rally to new all-time high event. AMD, the same scenario here, flirting around this trend line. If it consolidates here, it means that it's going to go higher. I would say AMD can go all the way up to 150, 170, 180 if it breaks through. So let's see, because that's very, very long, I would say, trend line here. And if it gets above this, that would be very bullish, and we may go all the way up to 61% Fibonacci, which is going to be 170, 183. So that's going to be a lot of higher price. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to Taiwan Semiconductor. Here's the same, just a bullish consolidation, and we may see another tackle to this area. This is the area that I'm looking at, 233 to 260. That's the weekly target, but it's very, very possible. Moving on to Texas. Texas Instrument, nicely bullish consolidation here. We may see another rally to 204 if it doesn't go down. Lam Research, I would say this is a very nice pattern here, and I'm still looking at to 101.99. That's going to be for Lam Research. Moving on to financials, XLF. As I said, financials are going to be the key component in Dow. They're just getting back to the upside, and we may see new all-time high for financials. XLF is coming. KBE nicely consolidating here above this trend line. If it breaks out, I would say down the road it can go to new all-time high even. KRE, the same pattern here. Look at that. Regional banks are forming nicely. We may go down just a little bit for a corrective move, but any pullback could be a correction. As I said, Dow is setting up for not a deep correction. So you see that in different sectors which are key planner for Dow, they're forming the same. Like they're very nicely setting up for just a shallow correction and then upside move. JP Morgan, the same pattern going up today. Goldman Sachs nicely muscling up today. Bank of America, nice pattern here, bullish consolidation 44. And Wells Fargo, it's a bullish consolidation. As I said, all of them are forming very nicely. Gold miners, GDX, they just gapped down today, but carving out the bet to the upside, 46.33. Not a bad pattern, but I would say any rally could be sell. Still, I'm just looking for a final low, potentially lower than this. GDXJ, the same pattern here. AEM is the same. It's just getting back to the upside today. Intraday session buyers to control. Well, I would say gap fill around 111 or 116 could be a sell area again. Newmont's the same pattern here. 51 to 53 could be a sell area. And XLE, which is energy spider, it's forming very nice consolidation here. So as I said, crude is forming a nice consolidation to the upside. XLE is the same pattern for Exxon, and also the same pattern for Chevron, which they can just sparking higher. Chevron just was in a free fall, but it's just getting back to the upside nicely these days. So we'll see how it goes. All right, folks. I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.